there's, so many brand new hairdressers coming onto the scene, and they ask there's no stupid question. They ask questions that you wonder if they're even licensed sometimes. And I think some unlicensed people do get on these forums and ask the actual stupid questions, and you're like, you should have learned it in school. And so one that's this is not a stupid one I'm getting ready to bring up, but I'm just saying it's entertaining to get the crazy questions, but then pretty good. And then I got a little bit of a thinker. So I read the one this morning, which was ironic because just last week in my own salon, one of the hairdressers says, "What is a platinum card?" Have you heard of a platinum card? He's going to drink his water first while he's thinking. And then today on the forum, or yesterday, a girl says, and I'll explain to you, a girl says, "What's the difference in a bleaching tone and a platinum card?" And what really drove me crazy, so yes, we're going to talk about bleach today. And, ooh, is that a bad word? Am I supposed to say lightener? Because that was one of the other words that came up. You can't call it bleach, that's Clorox. You got to call it a lightener. And I'm thinking, oh man, semantics, And so that's what I want to talk about bleach today a little bit. And I want to tell you my take on what these two are. And please correct us in the comments if we get any of the details wrong, or if you have an opinion, I'd like to hear it. But one of the details that I think I know from years and years ago, going through the Paul Mitchell education training to be an educator one time years ago, I think they made up the term platinum card through the Paul Mitchell system. Basically, it's back-to-back foils, leaving no hair out, putting bleach on, as opposed to just putting bleach or lightener on the dark part of the hair and letting it open air process without the foils. And so the real question was, what's the difference and why would you do it? And it just drove me crazy how many hairdressers just said, because it's better, because it gets lighter, because you can charge more money, because, and nobody actually explained it. A couple of them kind of hinted that there's more heat involved. And I'm like, yes, that's what I'm thinking. Just common sense. I'm thinking the platinum card, which is foils, it's going to hold a little bit more heat in. It's going to retain, almost like insulation, a little bit of heat from the body and warm it up, so it's going to lighten more no matter what it would do. Do you not agree?
No, I was like, I wasn't sure what to expect today.
I know.
I had no idea what to expect today. So I'm listening to you, and you said platinum card, and I said, oh, geez, here we go. So that's why I started drinking water. I'm like, here we go, man. I knew this was going to open up a whole can of hell.
Yeah.
So what are they? Okay, so platinum card, and then what were they comparing? Help me, remind me again. What were they comparing?
All over bleach, just bleach, like a color retouch, but a bleach retouch, basically.
So like a double, like a good old fashioned double process, well, like an all over scalp, lightener, scalp bleach.
And that's the thing. I hate getting hung up on terms. I do realize terms can help us make more money if we're more professional with our wording. Some schools teach you a line of terminology. Some product lines teach you a line of terminology. And so that's what I'm saying. Like, I think platinum card came out of the Paul Mitchell world. Bleach comes out of the old-fashioned world. Lightener is the new way of saying,
So I'll say it this way. This is I see this a lot on the. Okay, now I follow what you're saying. Yeah, I see this on the forum a lot as well. And I have a colleague of ours that you know very well, that him and I go back and forth about this all the time. And what needs to be understood, look, technique is important, and theory, this is where theory is important. This is where what I'm always spouting off about every week, finally I am vindicated,
I knew you would enjoy this a little bit, but not going full force color, but we're going to cover a big section of it.
Okay, so then here, platinum card, that's what they're calling it now. This is nothing new. And here's the thing, if you've been in this industry long enough, Everything old becomes new again. This was told to me by a good old mentor of mine many years ago. And the magic number is about 10 years. If you've been in this industry for about 10 years, that's when you start, all of a sudden you're like, hey, why are you guys calling it that? I was just doing that a couple years back. It was called this. If you've been in this industry for 20 years or longer, forget about it. Everything has been done twice over, thrice over, right? So the whole thing with this not leaving any foils in between and just going all over the entire scalp, there is this holy hell in our industry about expectations and about getting everything done in the first visit that the client is there in, right? Now, if you're trying to take somebody from dark to light, my color is level 4 CS. Maybe you don't see it so good on the camera right now. I'm a level 4 CS, which is a level 4 cool slate. I am one step above black hair. My hair color is black for all intents and purposes, or very darkest brown, depending on which color line you're using, right?
Right.
If I want to be a blonde and this, I can't cuss on YouTube's, bless America. This freaking platinum crap that we have right now that it's passing for blonde, right?
Why are you calling it crap? It's beautiful.
Gray hair is meant to be covered up, Bernard. I don't care. Challenge me, any of y'all. Challenge me in this chat. I am biting the inside of my lip not to cuss. Okay, gray hair is meant to be covered, or it's meant to be distinguishable, or it's meant to be you earned your life. You earned your place in life.
I'm gonna challenge you a little bit because I love that white.
I wish you was here next to me right now. I would give you a fresh one.
What's the option? Yellow hair,
blonde, beautiful buttery blonde, natural looking, beautiful.
Did you say buttery?
Buttery blonde, Playboy blonde. Damn it, something that looks hot and sexy, get you all hot and bothered about, that you want to jump somebody's bones for. That's what a blonde should be. Okay, if I wanted white, I'd get myself a piece of paper and I'd walk around like this on top of my head.
Paper. I was getting ready to do the same thing. I've got paper across the room.
Bless America.
I get it. But that's where I'm older than you, and you're acting older than me. You're supposed to change with the times, accept the trends, and go with it. You sound like
I'm doing social media with you. That's about as much change as you're going to get out of me doing this new age stuff. I'd rather be behind the chair right now making real money.
It's funny. I go buy certain feeds for some of the animals I have around the house. I go to this one old guy's place, and he's got this sign up says, "We do not observe daylight saving time." That's what you remind me of. I mean,
get off my property.
I'm not changing.
Yeah, right. Call me bunker. I don't care. Look, all right. So the whole thing.
I hated it at first. I didn't like it at first either. It kind of grew on me. Now when I see yellow or any yellowish tone, I think, oh man, they all look yellow now. From
everything looks yellow now, right?
Well, but I like that it's turning back to a little bit of more of a golden blonde.
Here's the thing. To take somebody from dark to light and their hair, there is a place for everything in life, right? Some people are just not meant to be blondes. Their hair just don't want to do it. And we're trying to force something that don't want to be. So in an effort to put, technology has changed. Man, this is like a whole, you're going down so many rabbit holes. I need like 3 of these lives to explain all of this. But the gist of it is simply this, all right? Here's the summary. Too long, didn't read. Here's the Reddit summary of this. You need heat. You need to lighten somebody up. Technology has changed tremendously. Not everybody wants to follow the rules. You have this magic 30-minute processing time that we have to work under because, God forbid, we spend 1 minute longer. And now everybody, wants to be healthy. Everybody's worried about chemicals and ingredients, so nobody wants to be under the heat. Nobody wants to use chemicals. Nobody wants to use additives. Everybody wants everything to be natural-like, right? So what do you do if you need to use heat, but you can't use it? Your hands are tied because it's not an option for whatever the scenario situation is, yeah?
The manufacturer said you can't.
Manufacturer said you can, or some Yahoo like us on YouTube saying, don't use heat, that's bad for you. You know?
Right.
So then you pack up them foils right on top of each other, no room in between.
Use the heat from the body.
Use the natural heat from the scalp. You know, that generates the most amount of heat. That's why we all called hotheads. Hot-blooded, you know? But that's what it comes out to be. You let somebody process naturally, and then that's it. You lighten them up as much as you can. You blast them. Oh, here's the other thing that drives me nuts. People are nervous to use 40 volume. They think with 20 volume, if they use enough heat, they can make it the equivalent of 40 and get enough lift. But if you don't got the time to let it sit, ain't going to work. Can't do it. No two ways about it. Challenge me on that one too if y'all want. I don't care. Bring it. Oh my God, you've got that. My blood is going up. My heart is going like this, like a thumper, like a rabbit. Jeez, Louis. All right.
I knew you were going to like it.
So what it comes down to is simply this. You need to use high developer. We're doing controlled lift. If you want to use that technique of foiling every single one, that's fine, right? But what do? Do you slice? Do you weave? Do you use a 40 volume with a 30 volume? Do you use a blue with a white, blue bleach with a white bleach, or do a blue bleach with a blue developer and a blue bleach with a white developer to try to get some kind of variation, tonality, contrast, something in there? This whole idea of it's because you could do this, shut up. Because, okay? That's the equivalent of people saying I'm just going to lighten you up. I'm just going to tone it. I'm just going to charge it. I'm just going to get all of these words out of your vocabulary. We are stylists, damn it. We are creative, professional stylists. We kick butt. I don't know any other. Look, I was making fun of this last week. We are afraid to charge money because we have big hearts. We feel bad for our people, for our clients. We spend hours. Our normal day is 12 hours behind a chair, not an 8-hour 9-to-5 job. We don't clock in and clock out. And then we go home and we sitting there and we studying and we putting pictures together and we're posting and we're reviewing and we're doing this and we're doing that. We're answering the phone. I've lost my entire family, my blood family. I've lost all of them because I missed out 7 days a week, 12, 14 hours a day. They don't talk to, nobody likes me no more. I don't even know why you like me. You halfway like me because you have to, I think so. No, I don't even know how I got married. I can't believe my wife likes me.
Take a breath. I want to talk a minute.
Man, you've got me going good. I don't got to do a workout today, man. I got my cardio over here.
I knew you were going to get fired up.
Man.
And so one of the other posts that goes right along with what you just said, you reminded me of this. Somebody else recently said, my client, because of what they say, my client doesn't want bleach on her hair because it's too damaging. Who knows about high lift color that I can use? And one of the stylists did answer this one correctly, and I'm not saying one is right or wrong because I think you can go both ways, because I am not against 40 volume, but one of the stylists said you don't want to use high lift color from a color line because then you have to use double 40 volume anyway, and that is so damaging. You could be less damaging with bleach. I do agree with you can be less damaging with bleach potentially than with high lift color, but what is the level you're at, where you're trying to go, and then decide. It's not about which one's more or less damaging. It's just what's the right or one of the many right ways to get there.
What is the proper formula for the situation that you're working under? Here's a fun fact. The high lifting blondes using double 30 or double 40 volume developer have to process for an hour. 55 to an hour, okay? It is the equivalent amount of damage done to the hair as 20 volume with a bleach or 20 volume with a lightener. And I'm going to challenge you a little bit on that one, Bernard. There is kind of, now technology has improved. There is a little bit of a difference between lightener and bleaches nowadays, but there's a lot of overlap and similarities as well. But 20 volume for 30 minutes with a bleacher or lightener, an hour with high lifting blonde, double 40, double 30 is the equivalent amount of damage. You're not saving the client. Here's what's even worse now from a creative standpoint. That 1 hour for lightening is no guarantee that you're going to hit your target lightness. And
Right.
you have lifted and toned with a high lifting blonde color. How are you going to
Right.
tone on top of something already been toned? That cuticle's closed and sealed. With a lightener, with a bleach, that cuticle is opened, it's exposed. You've blown through as much contributing pigment as possible, depending on how well you mixed up that lightener and how thin of a section you took and processed and blah, 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 blah. But you could tone it. You could tone it afterwards to what your desired result, what you want it to be. You got a lot more control over it. And if you're toning
Right.
after a bleach, you're conditioning the hair automatically. Then who the hell cares how much damage you've done? And at that point, somebody wants to be that blonde. Do you think they give two flying?
About damage?
Thank you. I ain't gonna make it through this one.
Damage?
You shark attack me on this one this week, man. I ain't gonna make it through
Right.
this.
Hey, they're going from dark to light, and people are talking about damage. Sure, we want to be as careful as we can, but you're right. For the most part, they say, I want to be blonde more than I care about damage. Right. They want to be blonde. They're going to get hair extensions to thicken it back up. So, I mean, sure, we want to save the hair as much as possible. But let's just kind of go back to the beginning before you lose it, and I have to go. Because I do have to take my little 8-year-old to karate at some point this evening. And I'm at home in an echoey room. I left work a little early today because we did this live a little later in the day. And then all of a sudden I was getting ready to go pick up my son from his friend's house, and I told my wife, "Oh goodness, I got to do a live today. Go get Carson,
That's fine.
and I'll bring him."
I have a highlight at the salon I got to get to myself, so it's all. Oh man, this poor client tonight's gonna get it. Oh, I'm just thinking about this now. Oh, this client's gonna get it tonight.
So let's see what you think about this. I know we have some differences in what we think. I know you know way more about color and bleach than I do, and I know you hate me using the word bleach potentially.
No, it's not that I hate it.
Let's talk about just processing and the very original question. I want to see if you follow along with, and I think you will because of what I've heard, some of the things you said about the heat situation. So I was telling a newer girl in the salon who's doing a great job with getting that beautiful white blonde in the salon. She's doing a great job doing it. Teeny tiny weaves. You need to put one on each side if you want to be
Yeah,
sexy.
right.
I really-
Look like Sister Mary
Yeah.
Francis, who used to beat the crap out of me in school.
So listen, if you did just an all over long dark roots, which is too common out there, we're trying to get, she's growing out a month and a half, 2 months, more dark hair than we like, and because this is what one of the things was, and I did like the fact that they brought the money situation up. Some of them said if you have a lot of roots or a lot of dark hair, do the platinum card because it helps retain some heat and it bleaches more evenly, which I don't really understand how it's going to go more evenly. I guess maybe the smaller sections, they're just painting it on more. I don't get how the foil is going to help it do more evenly unless it's helping hold some moisture in. I think that's part of it. I think the foils are not only holding the body heat in, but they're also retaining moisture longer, so it's processing without drying out.
It's to a certain effect, yes. It's also the main thing about foils is that it conducts the heat evenly throughout the head, so you're minimizing the hot root as best as possible.
The only criticism I heard, it wasn't really a criticism, it was a comment, was that with the foils, they called it more natural, but to me it sounded like they missed it. They said with the foils, with the platinum card, they were missing you're missing the roots a little bit because the foils kind of help. I thought, well, all you got to do is paint it on the root, but something about holding the heat in, they want to leave it off the root and pull it to the root towards the end, either go between the foils and get the roots, or pull the foils out, massage it in. Lots of different techniques to get the roots later, so you wouldn't have too much lighter of a root because you couldn't quite fit it in the foil. But I still want to get to this point real quick. All right, so most of them are saying we like the platinum card. It processes more evenly, adds that heat. It gets lighter faster, and we feel like it's healthier. So, and we charge more for it, and we do it because it's kind of needed at first. But then, if they're going to come on a regular basis when they should, then you're just doing a bleach and tone. You're just touching up the roots. You don't need the foils for a 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch of regrowth. So now we're just doing a touch up. And I thought, okay, and we don't charge as much. And so I thought, okay, well, that's good to hear. Now, some of them were saying the platinum card for the more money and the consistency. And I said, well, now that you said the conducting heat, that might have answered my question. Because I was thinking, well, if you all I can feel is it's holding heat in and it's holding moisture in. Why not put the bleach on the dark spots or wherever you need it, and then put a plastic cap on the head to retain moisture and heat, and maybe even warm it up a little under a hood dryer or lamps or any other kind of techniques we have for the steam machines that people use. Why can't we add heat that way? What's the difference in that and using the foil?
So that's actually a great point, and it's when you have outgrowth. So the whole thing of the platinum card, okay, you got to consider that hair grows on average a half an inch a month, right?
Right.
So if somebody's coming in with, with this much outgrowth, like a normal person, yeah, okay, fine. Maybe you can get away with the natural heat from the head and you don't have to lighten them up. Maybe you could do it with color. Maybe you don't have to use the bleach. But it also depends on their natural pigmentation, texture, density, and porosity. Those are the three governing factors when we go to formulate hair color. Okay, in an ideal situation, let's just say for the sake of conversation, texture, density, porosity is all good, and they only have that much normal outgrowth. Yeah, okay, fine, knock them out. When they have more outgrowth, when they have more than a half an inch of outgrowth, the problem is the heat from the scalp don't travel far enough down the hair shaft.
Right.
That's why you need the foils to help conduct that heat evenly across to be able to get that lift, because you're hitting that cold shaft is what we refer to as. So that's why you need the foils. That people use cotton, people use all different kinds of stuff, and that's okay. I ain't saying nothing against that. But foils is going to conduct the heat the best. It's kind of like cooking a potato, right? So it's all going to work the best. The thing with putting it under the processing cap, that's something we used to do a long time. We've done it and we still do it to a certain degree. It keeps heat in. And it helps that heat go. Now, the thing, what it is, and we used to take our tail comb and we'd pop holes in the processing cap because that would let some of the heat release, some of the air release out, so it wouldn't all get trapped in there, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the problem with all of that is you're creating a vacuum. You're not getting oxygen, fresh air back in. So it's kind of drying it out and you're losing your moisture. And bleach or lightener, whatever you need, requires moisture for that oxidation to continue to occur and decolorize that hair. When you're popping them under a hood dryer, yes, you're heating up that hair and it will force some additional lift. But let's say if you mixed up your bleach and it had the potential to process for 20 minutes under that hooded heat dryer, you're suffocating it, you're drying out that moisture prematurely. Instead of 20 minutes, you're only going to get 10 minutes out of it. So how much lift are you really going to get in 10 minutes, right? If you put them under the lamps, there's those heated infrared lamps. It's like a microwave. It's heating it from the inside out. It's still drying out the moisture a little bit as well too. Yeah, you're blasting that hair shaft and you're getting a little bit more lift out of it, but again, you're losing moisture. So if you had the potential for that 20-minute example I'm using, arbitrary number, I'm just making it up. You're only going to get 10 to 15 minutes out of it, yeah? That's why everybody's big right now on steamers and moisturized heat using distilled water. You don't want to use the tap water because then you're going to get foreign variables. You don't know what's in the tap, right?
Right.
Use distilled water, turns into steam. It keeps the moisture in your formula activated, which keeps oxidation continually moving. And that's how you get even, consistent lift.
Without the foils.
With or without, actually, that don't matter. But
okay.
The processing cap, actually, you do better without the processing cap. A lot of people put the processing cap to keep everything nice and collected, so in case somebody tilts back, they don't, dirty the hood, or it don't drip down their head. It also depends how you're mixing. A lot of manufacturers are equal part bleach with equal part developer. Some people don't measure. Some people like their consistency and they just kind of whip that up to eye, to the consistency that they prefer. Well, if you mix a bleach too thick, it's going to work evenly, but it takes time. If you mix a bleach too thin, depending on how thin you mix it out, you're actually making it more aggressive. not necessarily for lift. You're making it more aggressive for damage. And we confuse a lot of damage for lightness and lift sometimes. That's why some people don't like to tone, because they're like, oh, I got it so nice and bright. Yeah, because you tore the freaking cuticle off. There ain't nothing left. You're looking at the cortex, for the love of God. You know, it's like if you cut yourself and you can see your bones and you're like, man, that blood looks really nice and rich like wine. Looks delicious. Maybe I should take a sip. No, man, you need some stitches. You done messed yourself up.
I think you took it too far.
You know what?
Are you a little passionate about that?
No, I don't care.
At all. I think we might as well go deeper into this even in the next one or two.
Look,
because
yeah,
love this.
You know, in our Here's the Bling private group, I just posted yesterday a bunch of classes that we're gonna, you know, a lot of people. I've been teaching. I'm tired, Bernard. You caught me on. I've been teaching Sunday through Thursday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I've been teaching 5 days a week, and it's been nonstop toppers, wefts.
All I hear is you're lazy and you take 2 days off a week.
Yeah, I'm trying to jam in all my clients on Saturday, man. I'm like, there are not enough hours in the day on a Saturday anymore to do all these clients I'm trying to catch up on. I've been canceling so many clients to go do classes.
I think some people listening might be able to take advantage of some of these classes.
Well, that's the thing. I've been teaching 5 days a week because people have been asking for classes. So I finally been working with Darren. I finally figured it out. In Illinois, we can finally start teaching classes and opening up and do live in-person things. I'm just scheduling Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday classes. And I just put the calendar up in our other private group over there. We're already getting people signed up. I mean, I'm already doing private tutoring out my butt as it is. And Sundays, I'm doing private tutoring and I'm doing, salon only classes. I mean, it's just like, it doesn't matter anymore. But I tell you what, next week on the color class, man, whoever signed up for that one, I feel bad for you because y'all going to get it too really good. My client's going to get it tonight, and whoever signed up for next week's color class is going to get it real good too.
Yeah. You should have RJ help us out by putting a description, a link in the description to your classes, because we put links in the description for a lot of the classes we teach, but I don't think we have any of your color and bleaching classes. So
after hearing this rant, does anybody even still want to sign up or talk to me anymore?
I think people like passion. I think they can tell you know what you're talking about. When it's extensions, I'm super passionate. When it's hair cutting or certain things, I knew color or bleach or anything in the color realm was gonna get
you. You got me real good when I did all this preparation for the she hair today, and you're like, yeah, we're gonna do something else.
Yeah, we're gonna do that she video one day soon. We're teasing you guys.
You teasing me now?
We got started a little late today, and I was like, you know what? I'd really like to cover some things I'm passionate about, but I know you knew a lot more of the answers and details about, so it worked really well. We didn't have to have any pictures or videos pop up because I think descriptively the words, I learned a lot today. It makes sense. I like the conductiveness of the foils. That moves the heat more evenly through there. That is a big answer that I didn't figure out with common sense. And then with the plastic bag, I didn't think of the slowing down of the oxidation because you're kind of stopping everything. Sure, it stays wet, but it's not. And I guess even with the foils, some air is able to get into the foils easier than a plastic bag. Because the plastic bag, I mean, it's kind of like the little the memos on plastic bags that say be careful around children. This is not a toy because when you put a plastic bag over your head, there's no breathing, and nobody puts that on the little box of foil.
Well, as long as you're folding a foil nicely, that's fine. But you have some people, they fold it.
This is a good analogy.
They fold it again, and then they take the corner and they fold that in, and then they fold that other corner and they fold that in. And you got yourself a little Christmas packet. There ain't no air getting in there, and that I
agree.
Bleach got nowhere to expand to.
What'd you say?
There's no return air. There's no fresh air getting in there, and that bleach got nowhere to expand to. That's where you get a lot of those bleeders or those holidays. Or no, wait.
Right.
The proper term is demarcation, lines of demarcation.
Lines of demarcation, holidays, right. But I agree with you. Not to mention it takes 3 to 4 times longer depending on how many times you fold it. I tell so many people, when you take that foil and you fold it once, I tell them, don't crease it here. When you're creasing, you're basically squeezing the color or the bleach right off the hair. So you've got less coverage right there also. So yeah, pull it around, give it a little slap or a tap so that it sticks together. And then maybe on the side of the foil, if it overlaps your next section, you can give it a little fold on that one side or the other. But if you could even leave the side open, it's better, isn't it?
It's got to breathe. Everybody's got to breathe. The foil's got to breathe.
Right. And you know, it's funny because I came from a world of doing artificial nails years and years ago, and it drove me crazy when people said, how often should I let my nails rest and breathe, like every 3 months? And I thought, really? If your nails did breathe, do you think they've been holding their breath for 3 months? Because they would be dead by now. So, you know, I like that you're using the word breathe. I know you don't mean breathe necessarily, but process type of
process,
breathing.
yeah, for oxidation.
Because that's a whole nother video, is hair alive? I mean, I'm going to say it's dead and unrepairable, and some people are going to say it's repairable to a certain degree. But it doesn't breathe. It doesn't scream when we cut it. When it's damaged, there's no bringing it back. That's when you cut it to repair the damage. But I think we kind of covered our topic today. Probably should wrap it up here soon before you have a heart attack. But I wouldn't mind diving a little deeper down some of these rabbit holes, because I think that if somebody's watching this today, could probably share this link on that hairstylist education forum. You can literally go to the top right-hand corner and click on the little, a magnifying glass for the search, and search platinum card. And it would pull up and then share the link to this video. And I think a lot of people would get a lot out of this, because you had a lot of information that was not in the 100 or 150 comments that came up.
Oh, wow.
Some people didn't know how to articulate. I can tell that they were trying to say a lot of the things that you articulated today. And I think it would be a good idea to try to share this so that people can get a better understanding of the difference between all the ways to heat, because the manufacturers say don't heat, but I think they say it just to be safe because so many people do it wrong. And so, like you said, there's heat here. There's no heat out here. And if you need it out here, the foil helps you get it there. But like you said, if you're not going overboard and you're doing it correctly, you can bring some heat to that area.
Oh, sure. And you could do it in 30 minutes, that magic processing time that everybody wants to hit. You could do it in 30 minutes, but you can't be afraid of developer, and you can't be afraid of your lightener, and you need a scale. You just need to measure your stuff out and be prepared. And then you could do it. It's not a problem. I teach that all the time, you know. Yeah, I don't mind. You know, we can go down more of these topics. That's fine, too. Give me a little heads up first. So I feel like all I did was yell and be angry all day. I'm usually a lot more positive about this stuff because it's fun to talk about and it's nice to help people. But, like, no, man, you hit me with the left hook today, man.
I like the passion. Wrap it up, Eddie.
All right, guys. Look, thank you all for watching. Hit us with comments. Let us know what you all want as usual. Yeah, I'm done. I'll catch you all later. Bernard, thank you.